When you do that, it's the funniest thing ever. Welcome back to the Remote No Pressure Podcast, Bill.
Hey, it's good to be back.
It's nothing like Bill to drop crazy bombs right before we go on.
Yep, that's typical Bill.
Bill, Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year to you, too. Happy 2020.
2020. Are you making any resolutions this year?
No.
No?
Nothing to break.
Have you ever made a resolution?
Oh, yeah.
What's the worst one you think you've made?
Oh, wow. The worst one?
Yeah, or one
Of
that's
course,
like,
everybody has like, oh, I'm going to lose weight this year. I remember like, oh, I'm going to quit drinking this year. Oh, I'm going to quit smoking this year when I was in my 20s, and never happened. Well, it happened eventually, but like
nothing like a DUI.
Exactly. That cleans you up like a DUI.
My New Year's resolution is to not go back to jail.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I don't know if I can keep that one. I've never been in the clank, the jail. The what are the words for jail?
I don't know.
Clank, jail.
I try to forget. I try to forget.
When I was, this is a really dumb story, but I'm just going to tell people this.
Whoa.
Because
your soul.
Here's the deal. Sometimes we try to come up with great content, but sometimes this content is not great, but it's very special to me. It's very special. So when my parents were divorced, I went back and forth living with my mom, and my mom lived in this podunk town called Broadus, Texas.
Broadus.
Broadus.
That sounds sexist.
I mean,
this is the broadest town.
What did you say? This is the broadest town. All broads.
This side of the Mississippi.
All women. Like on Malcolm in the Middle when that dude goes to Alaska.
Yep.
No, it was Broadus. Broadus, I think. Broadus, Texas. It's the one I've talked about, Chucky Mouton, where I had to fight the kid in order to not get picked on anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Remember I told you about Chucky?
The biggest kid in the yard.
Well, Chucky was the bully.
Yard.
He wasn't the biggest, but he was a bully. And you had to fight him. Win or lose, you had to fight him so people would respect you. So somehow I got a hold of this.
Was that every person had to fight him? Everybody has to fight Chucky.
I think if you grew up there through elementary or whatever, you may not, but coming in.
New kid.
He's
going to have to face Chucky.
You're going to have to fight Chucky, son.
Don't even talk to me till you fight Chucky.
English teachers, they walk in, us fighting, they're like, well, he's got to do it.
It's bound to happen.
I would stop it, but it's got to happen. It's part of being a Broadus owl or whatever they're called. I don't even know they're there. And this is part of our culture. You come into kindergarten, you immediately go see Chucky. You get beat up. You come to second grade, you go to Chucky. You get beat up. Everybody's got to fight Chucky. Anyways, I would drive right home on the bus. And I had out of a like a quarter machine. This is such a dumb story. Out of a quarter machine, I had this thing that looked like a police officer badge.
Yeah.
And I put it in I had like this vinyl wallet. You know what I'm talking about? Those ones that it was like blue with like red around it.
Velcro?
Yeah. Velcro.
Yep.
And I'd open it up and it was like a little cop badge. And I had this kid like on my bus and I had him convinced I was a cop.
Oh, I miss being young like that.
No, remember Look Who's Talking? Look Who's Talking Too, where the babies would talk, you know? It was like, it was a big year, big millennial for babies and little kid actors and actresses. So anyways, I had this kid convinced I was a special agent. And I had him convinced. And then I went to live with my dad, went to live back with my dad. And I'm like, well, I guess the case is closed. I'm going to have to move. And I told the kid that. He's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, case is closed. So I got to go.
Wow.
I got to go to my next project. And I don't know if he believed me. He's just a kid. We're just a bunch of dumb kids.
He probably grew up believing that.
But the next week I wasn't there. And he's probably like, well, he really was a secret agent.
I'll be damned.
And it's funny because every time you go to a new school, you're like, I'm going to be someone different. I'm not going to be the same.
Mustache.
I'm not going to be the same old Jeff.
Mullet.
Yeah, I'm gonna be someone else. And you always end up being yourself. You always eventually
call me
back.
Hefe. Hefe.
El Jefe. You're awfully white to be Mexican, and your name is spelled Jeff.
It's pronounced.
It's pronounced.
Your teacher, Jeff. It's pronounced Hefe.
Jeffrey Lynn Troutman. You mean Hefe? Heferito? That's me. I had it's funny because I had a roommate in college who was from Mexico City. Mm-hmm. I'm doing all the talking, Bill. Do you have any funny stories you'd like to share?
No, I'm just taking them all in.
This is a good story. So I went to a Bible college to study theology with Paul Torres. We went to, I think we call it the Harvard of the South. That's sarcasm because I learned nothing.
At least you learned sarcasm.
But I learned sarcasm. But one of the things I did learn was how to deal with people or whatever. So I had a roommate from Mexico City, and I had a roommate from India my first year. So neither one of them spoke very good English, and I only spoke English.
Oh.
I neither spoke Mexican or
Spanish.
Whoa. I never spoke Spanish or Hindi. So it was kind of a weird year for me, I don't know why I'm telling this story, maybe because I said my name is Jeferito. So it was Carlos, and every once in a while I'd call him Carlitos, like little Carlos. He'd get so pissed. He'd get so mad at me. And I was just like, I don't understand English or Spanish. I don't. Why is that bad? I knew I was bad. But he would get pulled over, and he knew English enough, like, he would get pulled over and he would be like, I don't speak English. And he would get out of. In the 90s, it wasn't like you could go get an interpreter. Now it's different. But
everybody speaks Spanish now.
Yeah.
For us.
He used to get up every morning and he would he was perfect. Like his hair was perfect. His clothes were perfect. He always matched. He's like 20 years old and everything. And I know what everyone is thinking, that maybe and it's true. He actually eventually, yeah.
Wait, what?
He came out.
Whoa.
Now he is a sex therapist. He is a gay sex therapist on like Telemundo. I swear to God. We're still friends. We're friends on Facebook. We message each other he's a really good dude. But we were roommates at this particular Bible college.
The Harvard of the South.
And he was like that. He was like, his clothes are always pressed. His hair was perfect. He took fish oil. He's like 20 years old. He's taking fish oil. Like I'm drinking Mountain Dew and eating like king size pizzas. This dude's like taking care of himself.
Wow. At 20
years old. So
it took me 35 years to start doing that kind of stuff.
I'm still not consistent with the
fish oil.
I try, but anyway, so Carlitos would get so mad at me when I call him Carlitos. Anyways, but Carlos is a good dude, and it was really really a wild time. We would pull pranks on each other all the time, and just like one more story. So this is the funniest prank. He would get up before all of us, and he would rush to the shower and get a shower really quick.
While there's still hot water.
While there was still hot water. Okay. And I would roll out of bed like 30 minutes before class started. Carlos woke up like at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and he would be reading his Bible because we were in Bible college, and he was just the perfect person, So me and my Johnson Samkati, his name was Johnson. He got to choose a name. He came here and his name was super long, and he could have chosen any name in American English Dictionary, and he chose Johnson.
This is the guy from India?
Yeah.
Go on.
He could have chosen any name.
Johnson?
Johnson. And he chose Johnson. He changed it as he got older. Maybe as he learned English, he's like, now he's named Benny. He goes by Benny.
Benny Johnson.
Another really good dude. But he went by Johnson. So me and Johnson got really upset because Carlos would like wake us up and he'd go to bed early. We're in college. It's party time, man.
Yeah.
We got pork chop night, which is, we got weird stuff going on. So anyways, it was like 2 a.m. and we come into the dorm and Carlitos is already in bed, right? And so we set his alarm for 3:30 in the morning, right? Instead of his normal 6 or 5 or whatever. And we just sit there and kind of wait for Carlitos. His alarm goes off It's 3:30 in the morning. He jumps out of bed, goes and gets a shower, gets all dressed, gets ready for the day, sits down, starts reading his Bible. And me and Johnson started just like dying laughing because it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. He was so pissed.
Did you change his clock to say 5:30 in the morning?
No, we should have. That would have been better than setting the alarm.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the hotel room incident?
No. Oh, recently?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
I'll tell our listeners.
Yeah.
This is too much. This is too much of me talking. So I travel a lot for my job. I travel all the time. So I'm watching this show called Mind Hunters. It's on Netflix. Have you checked it out?
Mind Hunters.
Yes.
No.
It's about the FBI and how they figured out like how to hunt for serial killers.
Interesting.
Something I don't watch with my wife. And I'm in a hotel room by myself. I'm like, this is not something I would have watched with my wife because it's really bloody. It's really gory. I like it. So I'm watching it. And when I'm in a hotel, it's really hard for me to sleep. So sometimes I just let the Netflix play and I fall asleep.
While it keeps playing.
It's
going to eventually stop and ask if you're still watching.
Right.
Yeah.
So I fall asleep. And then at midnight, my alarm goes off. Like the bedside alarm.
I'm going to start doing that when I leave hotels. I'm going to be that guy.
Some jackass set that thing for midnight. And I'm already kind of halfway dreaming. And I remember as I fell asleep, like, I don't have to worry about anything. Deadbolt's locked. Like, and I don't have nightmares, anything like that. But dude, I jumped almost 10 foot out of my bed. I was like, what? I start like going around looking for like all the beds on each side because I got 2 doubles or whatever. I'm like looking on each side of the bed, making sure the deadbolt is close and everything. And I was really, really freaked out. Have you ever had anything happen like that?
Nothing like that. No.
But something. You obviously have something because you hesitated, Bill.
No, I've had a few times where I like wake up like, oh crap, I fell asleep 10 minutes ago. Why am I so jumpy? Or why am I like getting up 10 minutes later? Like I've had that kind of junk, where your sleep is interrupted, or you have a fleeting thought, like a weird daydream while you're trying to fall asleep. It wouldn't be a daydream, I guess. It'd be a dream. But
right,
yeah, your brain gets in a certain wave and you start like, yeah, I'm gonna stop there. I'm just gonna stop. I got nothing.
It's a weird place between awake and asleep.
Between dreams and reality.
Yes. Well, speaking of dreams and reality, in other news.
This has nothing to do with dreams and reality.
This has nothing to do with dreams and reality. You're right, Bill. Absolutely nothing with dreams and reality, but I thought it's a cliffhanger. It's to get people to hang on and to listen.
Oh, this will be good. Dreams and reality.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back. No, but I wanted to say this article is from the Detroit Free Press, so it's perfectly legit, which we actually frown upon here at the podcast. We enjoy fake news.
We do enjoy fake news.
We enjoy fake news. We like
legit fake news.
We like to spread fake news.
Yes.
Not just partake, but we spread it.
Yes.
Because I believe that the American people are smarter than they're getting credit for.
Oh, man, I hope so.
Still wondering about the gravy train. But this article comes from the Detroit Free Press. Man gives DNA to find out if he's Dewan Sims, Detroit boy missing since 1994. 4-year-old Dewan Sims. Is it Dewan or Dewan? I would think it'd be Dewan.
I think it's Dewan.
Dewan? Dewan Sims went missing in 1994. He was never heard from again. Now, 25 years later, a man believes he could be that little boy from Detroit. Captain Ron Tague from the Livonia Police Department told that the local man came in a couple of days ago to give a DNA sample to find out if he's Dewan. Can you imagine if you were Dewan?
No, I couldn't.
Like, I think I'm that missing kid.
Well, what made him come to that conclusion? Like, my childhood just doesn't make sense. I think my mom's been lying to me for 25 years. That's
a great question. We're going to follow that. We're going to follow this story on the Remote No Pressure podcast because we don't have the DNA sample back yet. So what we're going to do next week?
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about this and see where we are.
Are we going to call Dewan?
We may want to call Dewan. I mean, that would be an interesting story. I don't think he fly fishes. Maybe we can take him fly fishing.
That might make his day after he just found out his whole life was a lie.
Look, I know things are a little rough right now, but have you ever considered steelhead fishing in February? I know it's awfully cold and you've never.
I know what's going to make your day.
Yeah, I can't imagine growing up your whole life and then one day thinking,
how bad would your childhood be?
Well, according to the article, I guess.
Or maybe he had an awesome mom who just like stole him from somebody else and like gave him a good life.
That's what it looks like. It looks like he was raised by a normal family, but they just stole him, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's very...
Man, that would rock your adulthood if you're like, yeah, everything was great until you found out your life was a lie and your awesome parents stole you.
I can't even imagine.
I know.
We're going to follow this. Stay tuned next week to the next...
Oh, but wait, there's more.
But wait, same bat time, same bat channel. Dun, 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 dun.
That series was so hokey, but like when I was a kid, that was so awesome.
Dude, that was the best.
Yeah.
Well, Gordon West was the best Batman.
Adam West.
Yeah, that's right. Why did I say Gordon?
The Commissioner Gordon. Right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Commissioner Gordon. Yeah, Adam West. And Adam West was actually on Family Guy.
Yes, he was, tying into last week's episode.
He was Mayor
Adam West.
Adam West. That's right. What should we name him? Mayor Adam West.
Until his death.
Until his death, right? In Quahog.
No, he died in real life. He's really dead.
Oh, he's really dead?
Yeah, Adam West is dead.
You know, and I was listening to this over the holidays. I was listening to Tom Petty's song, It's Christmas All Over. You know, he was the voice...
in not Family Guy, but
no, King of the Hill.
Yes,
he was. What's his name?
Him and his wife are both dead from King of the Hill.
That's right.
What's her name died a couple years ago.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. That's
I heard they were talking about doing a reboot of King of the Hill. I would watch that.
Yeah, I would too. I like it.
That was a classic quality show in the 90s.
Quality product.
Quality TV.
What does Cousin Eddie say? It's a high quality item. This episode of Remote No Pressure Podcast is brought to you by Deli Fresh Design. Deli Fresh Design makes outdoor gear that is simple, reliable, and sustainable. It recycles rock climbing rope, sailcloth, fishing waders, and other tough materials into essential products for enjoying the outdoors. All are made in Colorado. Check them out at delifreshdesign.com. Type in RNP20 as the discount code and get free shipping over $75 and 20% off.
You can't afford not to.
That's
my tagline.
That's our tagline. Maybe we should add it to the copy. Deli Fresh Design.
Also, if you could mention... Dang it!
Also, if you could mention the website plus RNP20 discount code. Yeah, because I read that. It's part of the copy. Website is delifreshdesign.com. Be sure to check that out. This week on the Remote No Pressure Podcast, we have a local boy. And you know what, Bill? I didn't tell you he was going to be on today.
No, you didn't. It's
I didn't
surprise
tell you.
To me, too.
I didn't tell you, but remember...
We're all learning this together, folks.
We're all learning. And what I wanted to say was, Bill, you know this person.
What?
Remember when we got together as a crew for the fly fishing film tour last year?
Yeah.
And Kim Sears was with us.
Yeah.
Kim... He's on the episode. He's on the podcast
no
this week.
Kidding.
Him and his wife are helping out Project Mayfly.
Well, tell him I said hello.
I will. They were him and his wife were working with Project Mayfly to bring that to Michigan. So I was really excited to talk to him about it. Remember when he was in the car?
Yep.
Because we gave him a ride, and he's like, "It's like I'm listening. It's like a live podcast."
It's like I'm in the podcast.
I think we were in my little car too.
Yeah.
My little Eco. Yeah, that's really cool. But I was very happy to have him on the podcast, and he was a great guest. Him and his wife are doing some great things with Project Mayfly, and as most of you know, Project Mayfly is near and dear to my heart. So I'm always happy to support. I don't know why, but that particular nonprofit, especially with kids from the foster system, is really it really means a lot.
It's a good
to me.
one.
It is. Kids can't help crap.
No.
Adults make dumb decisions.
Yeah, we do.
You know.
I'll testify to that.
I don't. But you do, Bill.
Yeah.
No, but we do. We make dumb decisions, you know. And I can look at someone and be like, man, they've had a hard life, and I can have compassion on them. And sometimes maybe they made those decisions themselves, but they're still in a hard place, and you still love them and everything. But kids can't even pull themselves out of it. Like they can't do anything.
They got no way to. Yeah.
So I'm like, I love Project Mayfly. So I'm very happy that Kim came with us. Welcome to the podcast. Let's light the fire. Well, today on the Remote No Pressure Podcast, I'm very excited to have someone who's becoming a friend of mine here locally, Mr. Kim Sears. Thank you very much for hanging out with us, Kim.
Oh, not a problem at all.
Now, we met last year at the fly fishing film tour. You came out to the brewery with us and hung out, and that was a really cool experience to meet you. I knew who you were right away because you had a fly fishing hat on.
Oh yeah, that was a fun night. That was a blast.
What did you think about the film tour this year, or last year, I should say?
That was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was pretty informative. It was nice to see all the different destinations. It kind of get your hopes up and stuff. It just kind of get you looking out farther than the river down the road.
Yeah. Do you do much trips? Do you travel much for fly fishing, Kim?
Back in the 80s, I traveled quite a bit. I did a lot of fishing out in Wyoming and Colorado, Montana. Then a couple of wives that didn't really care for me fishing so much. I didn't do any traveling. Pretty much gave up fly fishing for quite a while. But I found an awesome wife that I taught to fly fish. She caught on very quickly, and we are constantly fly fishing. I didn't even know where my spinning gear was last summer when I went looking for it. So now we got a daughter that lives out in Denver now, and so that's been a couple of reasons already for fishing Colorado, and we've went planning trips for Montana again. So yeah, we're doing the traveling to go fishing too.
That's amazing. Now, how did you meet your wife, Kim?
Kayaking on the Rogue River here in Michigan.
Really?
Yep. I decided that I was going to go back and do everything that I had put off or quit doing, and I broke out my fly gear. I went out and bought a kayak and was getting ready to get back on the water. And I had joined West Michigan Kayaking Club from here in West Michigan, and I just kept putting it off, and finally it was like, all right, I'm going. We're going to paddle blues concert in Rockford, and I'm going to meet some new people and get back on the water. And I was standing there looking at all these people, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, who's that?
So was she part of the club then?
Yeah, that was actually her first paddle too.
Oh, really?
So we got the boats launched, and I caught up with her, chit-chatted a little bit, and then when we got to the backwater, listening to the blues and stuff, we chit-chatted some more, and we just started paddling more and more, and ended up dating.
So you mentioned, and I'm not going to ask too many details, but a couple of wives before this one. Why did you feel the need to give up fly fishing, and why did you feel the need to give up kayaking? If I'm not asking too personal questions.
Well, it was, I was born and raised on the Thornapple River, and I'd always in the river or something around the river. I moved when I was a kid, 2 miles down the road, and now I'm still on the river and living in the woods. And I don't know. The women I met just weren't really into the fishing, and they didn't like the outdoors. And as soon as it started getting cold, and I just give the hobbies up to make the marriage work, and it just got to the point where they didn't work.
Do you think a lot of people do that? They'll give up the things that they love. They'll sacrifice things that they enjoy for their marriage. Do you see that a lot, Kim?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen that in several people, several guys that I know, that they've given up their passions to make the marriage work, and it just ends up not working, for one reason or another beyond that, and they go right back to what they gave up, trying to play catch up and get back into the things that they did and that they enjoyed.
There's a million books and articles about marriage and marriage and making a happy couple and staying married for a long time. And it seems to me that sometimes when people give up those things, I think there's a healthy part of that. I think it's okay to say I'm not going to go fishing as much or anything like that. But if it's something that's your passion and you genuinely love, it seems like you would get kind of bitter at that person kind of quietly, like you feel like you're giving up so much for them.
Well, there's a point of give and take. I mean, that's part of a relationship. Mm-hmm. But the old story that you want to marry your best friend, is a big thing. And being best friends with your spouse is huge. It already means that you enjoy doing the same things and you enjoy doing the same things together. It's just it makes life so much more enjoyable rather than to, have to make a special plans to get away for even just a day, or a weekend, something like that. And then almost have to justify what you're doing and why you're doing it. It takes a lot of the enjoyment out of it. And with Sue and I, we'll take off for Traverse City for a weekend, and you should see my truck. Well, we had kayaks strapped to the top of it. We had our float tubes in the back. We had waders. We had our fly gear. We had snowshoes. It's like, no, we're only going to be gone for 2 days. It's like, yeah, but we don't know what we're going to be doing.
That's really cool that you're able to, you found someone that likes the outdoors as well. You said that you kind of taught her how to fly fish. How did that process go, Kim? Was that a rough thing or?
Oh no, it was a piece of cake. She caught on so quick. We were at a friend's house for drinks one evening, and we were sitting there on the patio, and I'm like, man, what the heck is hitting that water? And you could just see the little, doppels here and there. And so I told him, I said, mind if I go get my fly rod and see what those are? And he goes, yeah, sure. And she was on the dock with some spinning gear, and I come down with my fly rod, and just a couple pops out, and every other cast, bluegill, sunfish, rock bass. Okay, here we go. We're having fun. And I hear this splashing behind me, and that's like, what the heck? And I looked over, and she's like, what are you doing? So I was like, I'm fly fishing. She goes, can you show me? Sure. So I showed her. And
hold on. Were you guys married at this time, Kim, or kind of dating, or?
No, we were just dating at the time.
Wow. When she said that, were you just dating. Like, oh, this could work. This could work. When she asked you to show her?
And that was it. She was knee deep. And I mean, it was so dark that you had to put the silhouette, I could see her silhouette from the setting sun in the background. And it's like, how can you see what you're doing? She goes, I can't. She goes, I hit, I feel it, and I pull.
Oh my gosh. What a romantic story, Kim.
I believe she quite literally has more fly rods than I do now.
It's kind of funny because there is some grace and some rhythm and some art to fly fishing, and it seems like women would catch on. They tend to be more graceful than guys, so I could see them catching on more quickly than guys. I don't know if there's a scientific study for that, but it's totally my assumption.
I used to do a little bit of shooting, and the question was always, the women, once they got afraid of the bang theory, then they were deadly. They'd outshoot you all the time.
Really?
They got rid of the boom. Yeah, the boom from the firing, but once I got rid of the flinch and the twitch, they'd outshoot you every time. And she has more patience drifting a hole than I do. She will sit there and I'll drift it through a half dozen times and move on. She comes up there and she catches up with me, and she's got 3-4 fish out of that hole.
Wow.
It's like, really? How'd you do that?
Wow.
But she's got the patience to read the water and to read what the fly's doing, and she breaks it off, ties on a different one, 3, 4, 5 casts, takes that off, tries another one, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, got a fish. Okay, we're going to work with this. And she just cleans the hole right out.
That's really awesome.
That's why I kind of like fishing ahead of her instead of behind her.
Yeah, with me, I'm kind of clunky, and I always tend to get in a hurry and get impatient, or I'm like, I know this is going to catch fish, and I don't know when to change flies because I'm determined to try this fly, or it's the patience and the steadiness, and that always helps out. I'm sure.
Yep, you and I are in the same boat. I tie a fly on convinced it's going to work, and that fly falls apart before I catch a fish on it because I'm so determined just to catch the fish on that fly.
Yeah.
It's like, forget catching a fish. I just want a fish on this fly.
So how long have you and your wife been? It's Sue, right? Your wife?
Yeah.
How long have you and Sue been together?
5 years this August.
Wow. That's really cool. And recently you guys made a decision to do something with Project Mayfly. or the Mayfly Project?
Yes. Yep. She was actually invited to join the Mayfly Project as a mentor, as through the Flygirls of Michigan. And they were, I guess, a conference call they had, or she had been in contact with the lead mentor, and they were still looking for volunteers for the mentors to help out the kids to work in the project. And I had gotten an email inviting me to apply, and I did so. And we went through the background checks and the references and stuff, and the ball's rolling. We're, I think, 9 mentors right now for the Grand Rapids project, and we're looking for more. We're hoping to. We just went through the Great Lakes Fly Fishing Show. It was our the initial fundraiser, and I believe we've got 2 kids covered for the project coming up this summer. We're trying to nail down some dates, and that we're going to be able to do it. Right now, it's $780 per kid that goes through the system, and we're hoping to, in our first project, to get 5 to 6 kids to go through the program.
What does that look like for the kids? What is the program you guys? How do you find the kids, and then what's the process they go through exactly, Kim?
There's the group homes, especially in the Grand Rapids, Kent County area. They can contact the project, or there's people in the program that'll reach out to these homes, that they hear about. And they said it's a 5-day program. The first day is really an introduction to the mentors and to the kids alike. We teach them what a fly rod is, what it's made of, how the line works, the fact that you're using a heavy line to get a virtually weightless object out on the water. And we may get through a demonstration or actually show them how to rig the rods. And then it graduates from there. Each step goes a little bit farther. They'll focus on the entomology of the bugs that the fish feed on, the ecology of the river that supplies the entomology, how to read the river, how to read the eddies in the pools, where to find the fish, how to spot them, stuff like that. And then there's always casting involved. Anytime we can get casting lessons into it, we get them casting. Or even if it's from day one, they kind of feel it out by the kids. On the first day, if they're catching on to it and they're taking off, we break out a practice rod and start casting. But the goal is on day 5 that we have a guided trip on the water, and when the kids are done, they've caught fish. They can actually say, this is mine type of thing. This is my achievements. And they get patches and badges along the way for everything that they've achieved. And it gets the foster kids out of the house. It gets them out of the system a little bit and kind of shows them that there's something else out there. And then at the end, they get their own gear, complete waders, wading boots, sling packs, fly rod, the whole 9 yards, so that they can pick up their gear and they can head out the door and go fishing on their own if they're old enough or capable to.
That's really awesome. I think just like all of us, I mean, not comparing my life to foster kids' life, but what I'm saying is we get so involved in our lives that we don't realize there's something else out there. With our jobs, with our work, with our careers, and with our family. It's so easy to just focus on ourselves, especially through the holidays. I know we're buying stuff for other people, but it's like, okay, we get caught up in that. And then when we go fly fishing, it's like, oh, there's a whole world out here. That's so good for us. But I can't imagine what that's like for a foster kid who, like I've mentioned on before, I think it was our Thanksgiving episode that, they had that, they took some kids from downtown Grand Rapids to Lake Michigan, and they've never been there before, and they were going nuts. And I'm like, this is Lake Michigan. I go several times every year. It's not very far. But for these kids that have never seen it, that was like mind-blowing to them. And it broke my heart. I was like, that's just not right. Like that, every kid should get to go to the beach, And
Yeah, I had heard that before, and it's almost sad. It's like when the kids come up from the south and they've never seen actual snow falling out of the sky before, and they're just all flipped out, and out of excitement. It's like they're trying to go 100 miles an hour, but stop and watch a snowflake fall. And the fact that these kids have never been barefoot on a sandy beach. That just floors me.
And they live so close. It's not like they live all the way in the south. I mean, they live, half an hour from the beach. But like being able to take them to go fly fishing, not only are you taking them to experience them and let them know, hey, there's another life out here besides just the foster system. There's a whole world out here that you can partake in, but you're also giving them a skill to help cope with life as well.
Right. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to compare foster kids to Project Healing Waters veterans, but that's how they use the fly fishing for Project Healing Waters. To take the vets out and find a way for them to relax and occupy themselves, and kind of realize that there's something out there that's not gonna stress you out, that's gonna calm you down, that's gonna relax you. And when the kids come out of the their care system, they're not going to have any troubles. I mean, we're not going to talk about their issues, and we keep our problems to ourselves, and we're there to talk about fly fishing. Mm-hmm. We're going to teach them how to cast, teach them how to tie flies even. I'm personally looking forward to that. Turn a mop into something that a kid can catch a fish with.
Yeah, that's a skill. That's I've been really looking into mindfulness and meditation, and just being mindful of where I'm at. That helps me with anxiety. It helps me with depression, and especially when we live here and we have no sunshine for months at a time. Meditating and mindfulness and being present is so powerful, and when I'm on the water, you can't really, or when I'm tying, you can't really think of a lot of other things. You got to focus a little bit. And I think that's why it's such a powerful thing to help with the mental stuff, Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. You have to clean out the olds, replenish it with something new, fresh air, or, just something out of the ordinary, get rid of the stale thoughts and the staleness out of your head.
So when does this all start for you guys, Kim?
I know we're trying to get dates together.
Okay. Yeah, I know you guys are at the table there at the fly fishing expo, but I didn't know, because I know you're already involved in it, but I just didn't know as far as the kid thing, if you had a date nailed down or not.
No, they don't have dates yet. We're looking. I'm hoping we can get the mentors together. Kind of as a get to know each other a little better, and then sit down and maybe do some fly tying amongst the mentors, or those that don't tie. Really welcome just to come and hang out type of thing. But it more of as a get to know each other, so that we're aware of what everybody else can do. Is the better we mesh together, I think the better we'll benefit the kids. Stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So, what is your day job, Kim? I mean, what do you do during the day? You're not retired, right? What do you do?
Oh, no, I finally started talking and thinking about retirement this year, but it's still going to be a ways off. I'm actually a designer in the tool and die industry, and I have a specialty. I designed hot runner systems and incorporate them into the plastic injection molds for commercial tool and die here in Comstock Park.
For anything with tool and die, or mainly automobile, or?
Automotive is primary for us. We've done some packages for GE for refrigerator components, dishwashers, some washer and dryer components that we've done, but mostly it's interior automotive, mirror packages for Magna type of thing.
Okay. What made you get into that type of employment? Was it something that you wanted to do for a while, or?
Well, I was a product designer originally, and I designed lawn and garden products, and then after 5 years of that, the president of the company come and handed me an envelope and said, you need to get a bachelor's degree or move on. And I'm like, okay. He says, you got a year to do it.
Wow.
Okay. This isn't going to work. So at the time that I was a product designer, I was chasing my own molds and stuff. And so I reached out to some contacts from tool shops that I had worked with. And the one guy says, you got to be kidding me. He goes, I'll take you. And that was my step into tool and die, design and molds. And that lasted about 6 months. And he called me up and says, hey, he said, I hate to do this to you, but I'm closing the company up. He says, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm like, well, okay. And so I went unemployed, and then a friend of mine called me up and says, hey, we got an opening at a tool shop in Grand Rapids. Come talk to my boss. And I went and talked to his boss, and 30 years later, here I am still in tool and die, and it's thrown me out 3 times and sucked me back in every time. So,
well, how did you get into fly fishing? I know you said you grew up on the Thornapple, but when did you start the fly fishing thing?
Oh, I was hounding probably 10 years old. I was hounding my dad one day, and he took me out back and he handed me this 9-foot, 9-weight fiberglass eagle claw. He handed it to me, and it had one of the spring-loaded reels, which became a joke down the road, but it was fun. And he just taught me the basics of casting and left me in the backyard while he was working in the garage. I left him alone, and I just started casting and casting and casting. And it started out with bluegills in the backwater of the Thornapple River, and kind of graduated up to trout and steelhead from there.
Wow, that's amazing. And so did your dad fish at all with you, or was it just something he got for you?
He more or less gave me the rod to get me out of his hair while he was working in the garage. We did do a lot of fishing together. I mean, we really did, but that was the original, was to get me out of his way.
That's funny. So what's obviously you and Sue have a big year this year with Project Healing Waters coming up, but what else do you guys have on the horizon that's coming up, Kim? Anything else?
Oh man. Trying to get plans together to get back out to Colorado. We got plans in the spring to head out to Wisconsin to the Driftless, which is, I don't think we got a date nailed down, but gonna head out there for a long weekend. That's kind of nice because, I mean, it's 8-hour drive, and I mean, you're out there. So if you want to just spend 2 days on the water, make a 4-day weekend, just run out there and back almost. It just makes it kind of easy.
Yeah,
and it's fun to fish out there.
Do you guys take the beaver thing? Is it the beaver that goes over there, or what's the boat? The badger. The badger. Sorry. There you go.
Oh yeah, no.
Do you guys take?
No, we used to take our camper and. I did look into taking the camper across on the Lake Express one time, and when I saw the price back on that was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I can easily afford the gas to drive around through Chicago, and I have no problem driving whatsoever. So
you guys go
take our camper out.
You guys go south then, not up through the UP.
No, I've been tempted sometimes just to avoid Chicago, but
yeah.
I'd say, nope, I slug it out and I go right through downtown Chicago, and sometimes it can only add 3 hours to the drive.
I love Chicago. Well,
if I time it right, she dozes off, takes a nap, sleeps through Chicago, then it's a piece of cake. I mean,
yeah, we
quite literally got to Viroqua in Wisconsin, and she says, my legs are tired. And I'm like, what? She was hitting the brakes and they didn't work.
That's hilarious. Well, Kim, thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it, man.
No, anytime at all, man. Hey, we need to get together a podcast fly tying.
We will.
Do it live.
We're going to. We're going to do that. We got some big announcements coming up here, Kim. So we're going to do that real soon. So, but thanks for hanging out with me tonight.
Nope, not a problem at all. Enjoyed it.
Well, it's going to be a great year this year.
2020.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with me for 2 seasons now.
Yeah, 2 seasons.
Well, this season's not over yet, but
we're halfway there.
We're halfway there. Thanks, Bill.
No, it's my pleasure.
From the bottom of my heart, it's fun.
It is fun.
It's funny. I enjoy it. This is an outlet for me.
Mm-hmm.
An outlet for you.
This is like when I was in a band in my 30s. I'm still technically for a short time in my 30s, so I guess I can't say that yet.
We both are. What are we going to do for our 40th?
Oh, I don't know. What are you doing? You want to do something together? You want to go camping?
Let's go camping. Let's go do something crazy. Because you turn 40 in July or June?
June.
And I turn 40 in May. Let's go Taiwan on.
Taiwan?
Taiwan?
No, I don't Taiwan on no more. So we'll figure something out. And then we'll put it on the podcast. We'll take pictures of something crazy.
Let's do it. 40th birthday. You guys are all invited. Online.
We'll take pictures. You can see.
This will be a big deal. 40th birthday. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Be sure to go to our website at remotenopressure.com. Always the reviews that we really appreciate them.
Yes, we do.
We thank you for downloading.
Thanks for listening. Wow, it's getting kind of sad here, like the end of the show.
I wonder if anyone's listening.
Anybody still there?
Hello?
Do you hear me? Are we alone? Now that it's just the two of us, I've got a secret I've got to tell you.
It's like, what is it, Bill?
I got nothing. I'm shy.
It's kind of like when someone's leaving a message for you. Like they're leaving a voicemail.
Hello?
And they're like,
You there? You there?
Hello? Hello? Anyways, until next time, go fishing.